Hi, welcome. Um, Surprise! I'm making a recording. I don't make recordings very often anymore, but it's come to my attention that a lot of people have been looking up to me recently as a streamer. Um, for those of you who don't know, I've recently just passed 10,000 followers on Mixer, um, and it's been a crazy ride, to say the least. And a lot of people have been asking me different things like, how did I how did I get so big? How did I manage to achieve some things? What are some of the secrets that I've picked up along the way? And so I figured I'll just make a video about it. Um, just specifically because I can have people be in reference to this, and maybe things will change as they go. Plus I haven't actually recorded a video in probably a year. So, uh, yeah, all the other videos that you've seen, everywhere, that's all been from my streams. Um, the best thing that you could potentially do as a up and coming streamer, as someone who wants to get into streaming, keep talking. And I'm having, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to word this properly, because you don't want to just talk nonsense about a bunch of different things all the time, that have no relation to each other. When you have no viewers or very few viewers, usually you have to lead your chat. And so step number one, keep talking. Because if you don't keep talking, then you get this really bad, like, dead air, and it's disengaging. It's very unwelcoming to people. They will see your stream and they'll click on, and they'll be like, oh, well, it's just silence here. Whether you see them there or not, they'll just see it as silence in game. And if you have a camera, they'll see you, like, doing whatever, picking your nose, whatever. But there won't be any engagement. So keep talking, like there's always someone listening. Like there's always someone potentially going to come out and just start talking to you about whatever you're talking about. The best thing to do is talk about the game that you're playing. If you're playing, for example, if you decide that you're gonna go and play a game like Dead by Daylight, which is something that I stream a lot, talk about the match. Talk about how the match is progressing. If you're the killer, oh yeah, come here, Claudette. Uh, that sort of deal. Or if you're playing something a little bit more slow, like Subnautica, just talk about how you want to try to figure this out, and you're going to you want to work on trying to build this, and this is your next objective. And what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? Pretty much take every thought that you have and just verbalize it, except the really inappropriate ones. You don't want to do that. That's a bad thing. But just verbalize it. Just verbalize every thought about the game. And it'll make it so that it's a little bit more engaging. And then, for all you know, you could have an expert come into your stream about whatever game you're playing, and your verbalized thoughts could then turn into a full-blown conversation of why you're doing this versus this. Wouldn't this be better? Have you done this? And then you have a full-blown conversation where you're no longer leading the chat, and then that conversation can go off topic from games. And then you start talking about other things, and you're building a community. Which brings me to my second point. You want to build a community, which I know that's what everybody really strives for in regards to content creation. They want a really good, really strong community. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that. They have a community of, hey, can I play? Go to 90% of, players or streamers' channels who are playing games like Fortnite all the time, or PUBG, or Realm Royale, or, any of those. And I'm not saying it's bad to play those. I personally don't like them, but go to those games and you'll see a lot of can I play? And I've seen in the past, and I'm not going to give any names, but I've seen in the past that there have been some people who have streamed one specific game and they thought that they had built a community. And after they stopped playing that game because they got so bored of playing it every single stream for months, if not years, when they switched games, their channel died. That is one of the biggest problems that could ever come across any streamer. And so have a little variety. Even if your sole focus is, we'll say, Dead by Daylight, have a little variety. Because if you just stream the same thing over and over, then people are only there to see that game. And it doesn't matter how engaging you are, it doesn't matter how comedic you are, it doesn't matter how pro you are. When you're not playing that game, people don't show up. And that doesn't go to say that if you play a game for so long, you won't build a community. You will. There's plenty of people who have achieved that, and that's great. But don't put all your faith in it, because you'll get burnt out. Which brings me to the third point. Burnout is normal. I know that sounds weird, but burnout is normal. You have to, especially at the beginning of streaming, you have to take a step back. You have to take a little bit and just look at everything and breathe. Because if you don't look at everything and breathe, you're gonna be like, oh my god, what am I doing? And it's not gonna be good. You're going to eventually get to a point where you are very, very unhappy. And that's not good. That's not fun. Nobody wants that. So burnout is normal. Don't be afraid. If you decide one day that you need to take a day or two away from streaming constantly, then take a day or two. And this is something that I struggle with. Anybody from my community will be able to tell you this. I struggle to sit down and realize that I'm allowed to take a day off or so. Almost every week, my community, my regulars, and my stream are like, "You need to take a day off." Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. I went full-time streaming right off the bat. I didn't have external income. I didn't have anything. I just said, I'm gonna be a streamer, and I focused my full attention on it. And I say this all the time. When I first started content creation, I was streaming and I was making videos on YouTube. Um, and so I was just always, always, always going through and doing something in front of a camera. I woke up at 9 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, I was recording videos. And by 12 o'clock, I was streaming. And then I streamed for 6 hours. After stream, I sat down with my girlfriend for a little bit, ate some food for dinner, and then turned around and I sat there and edited my videos and got them queued for upload for the next day. And that was my daily ritual for over 8 months. Granted, I was enjoying it, but I put all of my eggs into streaming really early on. I didn't have much of a choice because I have a overall muscle weakness in my body where if I exert myself even a little bit, I have a chance of just collapsing. And by exert, I mean I could do dishes and I could just collapse. It's ridiculous. So I didn't have much choice. I couldn't get a job. And I was already playing video games, so I was like, okay, screw it, let's do it. Let's just go for it. But you don't want to just go and do that right off the bat, because if you go and do that right off the bat, you're going to fail. You need some sort of income to supplement, because it's taken me 2 years to start seeing even remotely viable income off of any sort of content creation. And that's not even including if I would have kept going with YouTube. If I would have kept going with YouTube and never streamed, I could be looking at longer, because my YouTube count is rather low. And, while granted, I haven't done a lot of like crazy interesting things recently, and I just recently started putting videos up again after a long stretch of not putting videos up. They still, the YouTube is still sitting normal. It's sitting stagnant, and it hasn't had much fluctuation, and I don't really mind. Streaming is what I'm best at. I do best when I'm interacting with people. I can bounce jokes off of people. I can do a bunch of things, and that's where I flourish. You might flourish in the same environment, or you might flourish by being able to do something like YouTube. Find where you're best. Like, look at, I mean, this is a really bad example, but look at my past videos and then look at my present videos. There's a large difference. And now granted, I've grown as a streamer, but if you look at like Amnesia versus Visage, I'm a lot more engaging. I'm a lot more, I have more entertainment now than I did back then. And yeah, as you get more comfortable and as you figure out how you want to hold yourself and how you want the stream to go, and you've done the same ritual over and over again, you kind of figure out ways to have more entertainment. But even then, like, the progression of it is a lot different. Or even look at one of my Unos that just recently went up and look at a Visage, a lot of, kind of dead air. While it might be entertaining, I don't know what you guys enjoy, but there's still a lot of dead air. I'm more playing the game and then I'm kind of mumbling to myself a lot. Uh, Whereas Uno, I'm playing with others, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time. It's great. It's a night and day difference in regards to everything that's going on. My next point, right here, whatever, right here, this. Make friends and network, but be cautious. Because if you're not cautious, you could make friends with someone, and next thing you know it, things just backfire and everything just blows up in your face, and you could be at the bottom of a barrel with no way out. And that sounds really rough, I know. Um, but it's the honest truth. Viewers are a very, very fragile thing. Um, you have the regulars that come in. It's great. But always expect that your regulars now won't necessarily be the same as your regulars then or later. Um, just because people come and go. And that goes the same with the people you network with. I couldn't tell you how many people I've networked with or I've had as regulars, and they've eventually just gone away. And it's very sad because a lot of them I had made into really, really, really good friends of mine, and they've just disappeared. And I don't like that, but I have to deal with it. Um, it's just a part of the world, and that's not to say that every person you network with is gonna disappear. That's not the case, but expect it because it will happen. And network. That is one of my biggest issues. Actually, probably the biggest issue that I have is I am very bad at networking. And it's not because like I don't have the numbers, it's not because of anything more than I just don't like it. I spent 2 years almost. August 8th is gonna be 2 years of streaming and content creation, and I spent 2 years getting into this world, and I had nobody there helping me. Whereas I've seen others who just started getting into the world and they have these big time streamers helping them. And to this day, I still have that pride that I have to get rid of myself. I have to be able to network more, support your fellow streamers. That's the biggest thing. I don't care if you're Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, D Live, it doesn't matter. Support your fellow streamers. Everybody is trying to do what you're trying to do. They're trying to have fun and they're trying to make a living off of it. So try to support your fellow streamers. It doesn't matter who they are. Network. Network. Be on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I only have Twitter personally, but um network off of there. Try to make friends. Go into other people's streams, hang out. Do not self promote. Whatever you do not self promote. If you self promote in a stream, your entire brand, your entire image of your channel goes right down the hole, full blown. So do not self promote. And just talk to people, have some fun, get in tight with people and make friends, because that's what community is about, is making friends. So network. And then finally, the last thing that I will say, be yourself. If you're not being yourself, you will eventually you'll go back to being burnt out. And granted, there's a lot of people who, they have an act that they put on and stuff like that. I can think of 5 or 6 people right off the top of my head, but I've seen so many people be very how can I explain this? I've seen so many people be very open with their communities, me being one of them. And I've succeeded far more than people who just shut themselves off. Um, and that's all fine and dandy and well and spiffy, but let's be fair. There's got to be a line. There's always got to be a line, and I keep that line. Um, And you want to be yourself, but you also don't want to pour every single problem out to your viewer base. Granted, I've come to my viewer base for support on many occasions. My ex is leaving, almost being homeless at some points. Just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of problems that I've encountered, but I haven't brought everything to light, and that's fine. It's okay to talk about the things that are going on, and it's okay to say that you're not doing okay. And if you put on a fake face, whether it's a full get up where, you know, I know Streamlabs OBS has those like face changers that can make you into like a dog, a troll, a cheeseburger, whatever. You can put those things on. You're still putting on a literal fake face at that point. And the biggest reason why I say that those are so bad is you have that disconnect from your community. Your community is there, if not for a game, then for that face that you put on. What happens if you're not that face anymore? What happens if you get overwhelmed and you have to sit down and talk to your community? Yeah, some will understand. Some will see that and be like, "Okay, I can understand." But then there will be others that they're like, "No, this isn't what we were following." And they'll leave. They'll find someone else. So always, always be true to who you are. Don't be someone you are not. Don't play games that you don't enjoy. Don't follow patterns. If you follow patterns, if you follow everybody else, if you try to be someone who you're not, you will fail. At the end of the day, you will fail. Something will happen, and unless you go absolutely viral somehow and you become one of the biggest names on whatever platform you are on, and people love you, and you're able to take those days off where you can't put on that face, and if it's a week or if it's a month, it doesn't matter because people will still support your content. Don't put on a fake face. Whatever you do, be who you are. But yeah, so that is streaming 101. Well, content creation 101, whatever you want to call it. Um, just it's not a set science, and you'll figure things out as you go. Just go live and have fun and be yourself. Play games that you want to play. It doesn't matter if you get viewers or not at first. It doesn't, because that's just training you. Keep talking. You'll have those dead silences. It doesn't matter if you have 50 people watching or nobody watching. You'll have those silences. So the early stages trains you for those silences before they become more prominent and people know about it more, and more people will see it. So just keep talking, have some fun, go live and be yourself. Network a lot, and good luck, I guess. Um, if you wanna follow me, subscribe, whatever. I put random videos for my stream up and all that. Here's like Mixer, Twitter. You're obviously on my YouTube. I don't have anything else, so well, there you go. But yeah, so good luck, and I hope to see you in the content creation world.